Bjorn Kunzel from eXp in South Australia. Welcome to this video today where we're going to be talking about the benefits of eXp. And you have grown an empire within this organization. And I want to actually take people through the empire that you're building, because some people will kind of have a go at eXp and it's because they don't understand what's possible. So you are a great example of an entrepreneur who is actually using all of the bits and pieces to grow an empire and grow your wealth within the organization. And you have agreed to go through all of those things with me today. We're not going to be showing your pay slips or your, sort of the things, but if anybody wants to book in a time with you, you're happy to show and prove exactly what you've done. So if we can just jump straight into it. So this is a page that I always talk about as far as eXp goes. And this is the entrepreneur side of eXp, which this is what you are, okay? As opposed to the normal real estate salesperson who is only listing and selling and they're giving a percentage to their boss. You are actually creating an empire within eXp. So did you want to talk us through these bits and pieces here? The first one?
Yeah, so obviously we all list and sell. That's our main business, and we also have, the ability to grow a rent roll as well. Most agents out there are just keeping 1 week of the revenue, and the owner of the business gets the asset. Well, with me, I get 1 week of the revenue, plus I own the asset, plus I don't have to manage the property, plus I'm getting 12% of the revenue. So we've got listing and selling, sales, obviously, and rentals. We've got all the support. Exactly what you get at your main business where you are now. And that's pretty much where it stops for most other agents. And just going back to what you said about a lot of people saying negative things about eXp, I'll be honest with you, every single real estate agency out there is saying negative things about eXp, and it comes from a place of fear. And it comes from the fact that people in Australia are very much in their comfort zones. People don't like to get out of their comfort zones. And the bosses of those agencies are all absolutely terrified of eXp. We are the biggest threat because they know that they can't come even close to matching with their agents the eXp offering. So what they do in order to prevent their agents from exploring eXp further is they bag the living daylights out of us, all right? So that's where that comes from. But we've obviously earned shares in the company as well. We're all shareholders, we're all business owners. There are no bosses here at eXp. Each individual agent runs their own business, but with the full support from everybody in head office, such as accounts. We don't have to worry about any auditing, any trust accounting. We don't have to worry about any supplier invoicing. We don't have to worry about anything to do with sale to settlement process. And that's all covered from $275 a month. Plus that includes about $1,300 worth of subscription. So you tell me where you can get it: administration, marketing, because marketing is included as well, trust accounting, auditing taken care of, sale to settlement, accounting, invoicing of suppliers, plus $1,300 worth of subscriptions that we all need as real estate agents, such as realestate.com, domain, CoreLogic, RP Data, Cotality, etc., for $275 a month. It doesn't exist. And as shareholders, we are rewarded in shares with equity in the business as we perform. So I've become an icon agent. I get $21,000 worth of shares each year, which is amazing considering it only cost me $28,300 to be in the business. And I've grown a team of around about 61 agents. So that brings me in revenue share. This property that I sit in right now, which is a $1.5 million property that I purchased last year, my revenue share pays my mortgage. So that's not available at any other organization. So I've got a mortgage of around $6,000 a month that is paid for by growing a team, and it doesn't affect the agent's pockets. eXp pay me like they would pay, like, let's say, for example, if you're at a franchise, you have a BDM, a business development manager, that might be on $150,000 a year, getting paid by that business to bring in rentals, to bring in sales, etc., to attract business to that particular company. I am a BDM. Every single agent can be their own BDM, and eXp rewards us, and they also reward agents accordingly. So when you get your first transaction, you get awarded in shares, a few $100s worth of shares. When somebody you bring into the company settles their first transaction, you also get rewarded with shares, as well as the agent that's just settled the shares. But there's one thing up there that we haven't mentioned that's not up there, which is referrals. We're a global network with about 89,000 agents strong in 32 countries. And when I started 5 years ago, we were only 14,000 agents strong in 4 countries. So what business do you know has grown by over 85,000, sorry, not 85,000, by over 75,000 agents right? In 5 years, there's none on the face of the planet. And that's why we are the biggest threat to traditional agencies and why they put us down.
Exactly.
But it's funny because a lot of those agents that were working for those agencies, when something goes wrong with their boss, they go, why was the boss always putting down eXp? I'm going to look into it. And once they look into it, they come and join us and they say, I wish I would have joined it earlier. So thank you very much, and continue doing it, franchise owners, because you're doing yourself a disservice and you're leading people towards us. So keep going.
So let's go to this page beyond. So we've got the 5 different ways that you can earn an income. So listing and selling. So you're constantly bringing in about 400 to 500 grand a year. And it's important to note how much you keep of that. So your GCI, you're not giving, half of that away to your boss. It's only 28,000 and something, that
28,300
EXP,
exactly.
yeah, that EXP takes out of that, and they give so much back to that, and it's the opportunity cost that you get. You've got shares in the company. So how much equity have you got in the company?
I checked my shares before we jumped on this meeting. I've got $143,109 worth of EXPI shares. You can look them up. They're traded on the NASDAQ. Now, of those, 90,450 are available to me today that I could sell tomorrow.
Yep.
And there's 52,000 that are not available, roughly.
Yep.
Now, how that works is that when we earn shares, they're vested for a period of time. So the Icon shares of the 21,000, firstly, we get 15,000. They're vested for 3 years. So just like your franchise agent owns, franchise boss owns your database, and that's how they stop you from moving to another agency because you lose your data. Well, eXp, we all own our own data, but what eXp does to give us a golden handcuff is they say, here's $15,000 worth of shares, but you can't sell them for 3 years. So it keeps you in the company. Now, on top of that, we host 6 Icon training sessions throughout the year. And all you need to do is join a panel. There might be 4 or 5 people on a panel, and you're rewarded with $1,000 per session, which goes for about an hour, right? So not too bad. And what happens is, of those additional $6,000 worth of shares, because obviously 6 sessions times 1,000, 6,000, half of those you can sell immediately. So 3,000 are available to you immediately, and 3,000 are vested for 2 years. So that's how eXp keep agents in the company. They give them a little bit of a golden nugget, but you have to wait a little bit for your golden nugget.
Yeah. Okay. And then we go to revenue share. So you said you've got 61 agents. So you get about, say, 6 grand a month for that. Property management. How many property managements do you have at the moment?
I've got only 11 property managements. They've all just been organic. I've only been doing that for the last probably year and a bit, maybe 12, 13 months. I did have property management with another company before that, but I got rid of those. And so each property management is worth on the market around about $3,000 to $4,000. So there's a little $40,000 roughly, or $30,000 nest egg sitting there. And I'm actually earning 12% of the revenue. So year to date, I've earned $8,139 from the property management. Well, I haven't actually, because it's in my wife's name. So my wife has earned $8,139, and that's obviously for tax purposes. It's basically a referral system. I refer on a name and a number, and basically they contact the client, they sign up the client, they do all the legwork, all the running around, and basically we sit back with ownership of the asset, and my wife, enjoys the revenue that comes in from it. And that's paid every 6 months, that revenue. And the asset is obviously our ownership.
Yep. And then the 5th way that you can earn income is referrals. So the referrals, we are an international company. There's 89,000 agents, 32 countries. So you have the opportunity to refer buyers or sellers anywhere in the world, basically, or you've got the opportunity to receive referrals back again. eXp, we have an internal platform where you can actually refer somebody to, say, somebody in Texas or whatever, and then that's managed through the eXp, and we get paid in Australian dollars into our Opta account.
Well, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a quick example of that. My colleague, Mike Lowry, was referred from a gentleman in South Africa, a property on Kangaroo Island, because he Googled eXp. And basically, Mike's now got that property. It's a $80,000 commission. There's a 20% referral fee going to the gentleman in South Africa. And all Mike needs to simply do is take down the gentleman's name and number and where he's from in eXp. And on the commission sheet, he just needs to simply write 80% Mike Lowry, 20% Mr. South Africa, and eXp take care of the rest. So there's a large commission that he wouldn't have received had it not been for the eXp Global Referral Network.
And that's the opportunity. So this is the page that I really just wanted to focus on today. Bjorn is, yeah, so we'll just recap listing and selling. So 4 to 500 grand a year every year, and is not giving any of that away to, his boss, apart from 28 grand to EXP for the opportunity cost of being able to do all this as well, or your admin support, all of that sort of thing, all of your back end support of your portals and RP data, like everything that you said. You've got shares in the company, which is, sorry,
143,109. And in the
worth of
past
shares.
5 months, my income, not my gross commission,
Yep.
not my gross commission. We don't talk about gross commission in EXP. My pay to me, 212,596 in 5 months. So I'll probably earn over, 510, 515 in
Awesome.
income
Yep.
this year. And
Yep.
I'm not writing $1 million, guys. I'm not writing $1 million. I'm writing between 450 to 550K a year in GCI, having a life.
Exactly. And revenue share, so about 6 grand. Property management, you own 11 properties, so times that by 4 grand if you sell them. And then your
Yep.
referrals, okay, yeah, one the other day from Mike Lowry, 80 grand. So this is, you can either come to EXP and build an empire like this, like Bjorn's doing, like as an exit strategy out of real estate, and to, build, not only to have income, but have assets as well that support you. If you're going to be working in real estate, you may as well get all of this stuff as well. You got shares for doing what you do anyway. You've got, you came in, you got Icon and you wanted to be the example. You wanted to go, okay, does this work or not? Yes, it does. Then from there, you were like, okay, this works. I can help other people, and you've helped so many other people, like in South Australia particularly, to come into the team. And you've got a very close-knit community there. Anybody in South Australia or anyone in Australia would be crazy not to give you a call and ask about this, rather than just having that one little section there, that one little lane of listing and selling. Why not have it all? Why not do all of this? Just crazy not to.
Now, I'll just say one last thing, Lisa. I started this in South Australia when this did not exist in South Australia, and it was COVID.
Mm.
So I made a move, right? For agents that are watching this that are scared and fearful, I made a move in COVID, during COVID. Right? Now, we all know what COVID was like for real estate. It was terrible. I made a move in the middle of COVID.
Mm.
Sorry, my vendor's always calling. I made a move in the middle of COVID. And with that move, basically, I saw this, I pulled over on the side of the road, and I'm a very logical person. I'm a very forward thinking person. And I realized that everybody's going to be an independent one day, or everybody's going to be maybe at Ray White, or everybody's going to be at EXP. That's your options. The rest of them aren't going to exist in 5 or 10 years. So I looked to the future and I thought, I'm going to get into this early now. And if I fail, I fail. And if I succeed, I'm going to succeed really well.
Mm.
And having the balls to go and do something when nobody else would. And now I'm sitting in a position where I've set my family up for life.
Yeah.
So
Can we also say too that the revenue share, building a team, that's actually transferable to a partner. So both myself and you,
yeah,
I've willed that to my son. I've filled in the forms with EXP. All he has to do is get his real estate license within 12 months. It has to be to somebody over 18. Just has to get his real estate license within 12 months of me passing away. And he's got my revenue share of building a team. So you can make money while you're alive, and you can make money when you're not alive anymore. So
yeah.
it's sort of, that is, as you said, setting up for your family. This is what EXP is about. So you can just do the old, list and sell and not build assets that you would have got anyway being in EXP. If you love the company in EXP and you tell other people and they join, you get it for doing what you would do anyway. So it just makes sense to do this. Okay, so Bjorn, what if somebody said, oh, but it's easy for you, Bjorn, because you were at the start of the thing. It's easier for you. I can't do that. What would you say to them?
And so it's absolute bullshit.
Mm.
And I'll tell you why it's absolute bullshit, because I started this thing when nobody knew who EXP were.
Yeah.
No one in Australia knew who EXP was. And
Mhm.
in that first year of me doing EXP, I wrote $478,000 in my first year at EXP when no one knew who the brand or the company were. People do not care about brands and companies. They care about brands and companies when you're purchasing cars. They
Mm.
care about brands and companies when you're purchasing phones. They care about brands and companies when you're purchasing clothes or TVs. This is a service industry. This is a people industry. People buy into you. If you're useless where you are, you're going to be useless at eXp.
Yeah,
If you're
definitely.
fantastic where you are, you're going to be even better at eXp, because let's face it, the tax man takes close to half of our income. So that's, you can't get away from that. But why would you give away half your income to your boss and then have the tax man take the other half and be left with 25% of your hard earned? It just doesn't make any sense. So if you have logic and you have common sense and you do not have any fear, then you'd have to be an absolute moron to not consider your own future. Forget about us versus them. There is all this bullshit in real estate, us versus them, LJ Hooker versus. Forget about all that shit. It is all a load of crap. We are all individuals that have families. Who do you want to put first? Do you want to put first you and your family? Or do you want to get involved in all this political crap in regards to brands? People do not care about brands
And this is the
in the year
person.
2025, and they definitely won't in 2026. And I can tell you one thing, by the time 2028 and 2030 rolls around, brands aren't even going to exist in real estate anymore. There's going to be very, very few. So make a choice and make a wise choice. And if you think that you can't do this, well, then you're right. And if you think you can do this, well, then you're right. And we've had agents that have come from zero experience, followed our guidance, and written, 35 transactions in their first year at eXp. We've also had experienced agents that have come over that have just lost their way. They don't keep up to date with technology, and they don't keep up to date with the modern processes of the way that real estate's going. And these used to be guns. These used to be household names in areas where I would see them every single week and I'd be like, wow, I wish I could be those guys. And those guys are only selling 2 or 3 houses a year now because they did not keep up with the times. It's 2025. You either keep up with technology, you keep up with the times, you join a tech company like eXp, whose founder was a software engineer and developer. Okay. He wasn't a real estate agent. He was a software engineer and a developer. You can just think about that. Multi-billion-dollar company. Think about where we are now. Everybody knows us. And think about how feared we are by the franchise agents. There's a very good reason for all of that. But forget about all of that. Think this. Do you want to put yourself first? Do you? Really? Or do you want to continue paying your boss and staying in your comfort zone and dying one day and leaving your kids with maybe a house or two, a little bit of an inheritance? Or do you want to leave your kids with an empire? If I die tomorrow, and it's not $6,000 a month, by the way, Lisa, in revenue share. That's after taxes. It's about $120,000 to $130,000 a year. My mortgage is $6,000 a month. Obviously, $12,000, $10,000 a month minus taxes is about $6,000 a month. That's why I said it pays for my mortgage, because that's what I'm clearing. Now, if something happens to me tomorrow, my wife, for the rest of her life, as long as these agents don't leave, which they won't, she's got that residual income. So if I die tomorrow, my family's taken care of. Not only do I have my health insurance and my life insurance and all those things that everyone else has, but I have the property management business that can be sold. And I also have the revenue share, which can be inherited to my wife. Now, when my wife passes on, it can go to my kids. So one day, my kids might be watching this in, 50 years' time, and they could honestly, seriously be sitting back raking in $200,000 a month for doing nothing except for breathing, right? There is a lot of strength in this, and it's not through any other measure except for eXp paying us a tiny little bit of the revenue that the other agents pay. So it's not a pyramid scheme. It's none of that rubbish. That's all nonsense. They're illegal, right? So get that crap out your mind. That's probably what you've heard from your franchise boss. He's just talking bullshit because he or she is petrified. If you want to do for you, do for you. If you don't want to join us, don't join us. We don't care. We're taking over regardless. You're either with us or you're not. Your choice.
All right. Thanks so much, Bjorn. But yeah, give Bjorn a call, build an empire. All right. Thanks, Bjorn.
See you guys.